And he goes, still practicing all your mate.
You audition, take Ace Frehley's place and Kiss.
I did get a call, and he takes the guitar and starts to play it.
Get your groove on right now. Watching Howie Mandel. Richie Sambora, damn electric, sonic sculpture, damn eclectic. Spent his life on the road. Shreds so hard, heads explode. Accordion is what he played. It was so hard to get laid. Bought a guitar for $10. Then he got all the lady callers.
Howie Mandel here. Anyone wearing glasses knows how frustrating it can be when our glasses slide around, especially in hot weather or with uncomfortable frames, leaving our noses looking like they've been pinched by a crab. The team of PhD engineers at SEDEX has developed a solution to stop glasses from slipping after studying the way a gecko can climb a wall or walk on a ceiling. The tech is amazing and they really work. Get 10% off with code Howie10 at sedexgrip.com.
Yeah. Welcome to Howie Mandel Does Stuff. I'm Howie Mandel.
I am Jacqueline Schultz, his daughter.
And we have a real rock star here today, Richie Sambora.
Hi, Flip Wilson here.
And Lou. It is really exciting. You know, people use that terminology all the time to say that somebody is excelling in what they do. You know, I don't know. They say, you know, it doesn't matter what you do. You go, oh my God, you're a rock star. But you're a fucking rock star.
A rock star.
You're a rock star.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
But do you ever, do you think, like, when you're a rock star, do you think that? Like, look at my fucking life.
You know, sometimes I do, but to be honest with you, you know, I between the songwriting and, you know, being a producer and doing everything else that I do, I'm usually busy like all the time. So there's not much time for me to be
but no reflection on this crazy ass life that you have lived, that people make movies of, that people gawk at, that people read about, that people care, and they just want to.
It's a fantastic thing, you know, and it's like your heroes, and now I got to be friends with my heroes. You know, the guys that I stood in line with when I.
Who was your hero?
Oh God, it was everybody, Howie.
Who?
All right, well, okay, let's see. Well, first of all, I think my first childhood memory was 1963 when the Beatles played Ed Sullivan, and my mom let me stay up on Sunday night.
I saw that. I remember sitting watching that.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my mother told me recently that, you know, I just sat there and like an Indian thing, and after they were done, I turned back to her and my dad on the couch and went, I'm going to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Right there.
So the Beatles inspired you?
Oh, absolutely.
That's the first big inspiration that you had was the Beatles. And
I have to say yes. You know, I mean,
did you play the accordion at the time? Were you playing the accordion? I'm Polish too.
You and me.
But I don't play the accordion. I have no musical talent whatsoever.
I play the shit out of an accordion.
Can you play the shit out of the accordion?
I still do. I've played it on a lot of records. And
the accordion?
Yes.
Can accordions be rock and roll?
You know what? They create fabric. Now...
What does that mean? They create like an undertone?
There's a fabric that they create that is a very kind of a homespun thing. Mm-hmm. They're on more records than you think. You know what I mean?
Right, but you don't see people at parties playing air accordion to meet the women.
No, you can't get laid playing accordion, and that's why I switched to guitar after a while.
Right.
You know, but plus, whoever invented the accordion is a sadistic son of a bitch, because there's the keys are here.
Right.
There's 120 buttons over here that you cannot see. Right, and then you have to bellow this thing.
Did you go to accordion lessons?
I did take accordion lessons, yes. I started when I was 7. The thing was way bigger than I was. And
was that a Polish prerequisite?
I think it was one of those things, you know.
I just see little Richie sitting around with his accordion and his parents doing a polka.
Am I on the floor? You know,
I remember.
Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk. It was amazing. Wonderful.
But
you have no
idea.
There
was another cat. There was another guy. Dick Contino.
I know who that is.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And he was badass.
How about Bobby Vinton?
Did he play accordion?
No.
He's Polish.
But he was Polish.
Yeah. Okay.
He had a bunch of hits.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of hits.
He
but
probably
like, you know,
played accordion.
So
you know what? Just think about, okay. Billy Joel, Stranger album, a song called Vienna.
yeah, there's accordion on that, right?
It's an Italian guy, and I happened to be doing sessions with those guys at that time, and God damn, I'm having a senior moment. I can't remember his name at the moment.
Who played accordion?
Dominic Cortese.
Yeah. If I had $1 for every time somebody brings up his name.
No. Well,
I'd have $1. I would have $1.
No, you wouldn't. You would have a couple of. He was the session guy that got all the accordion sessions in New York.
Wow.
Right when I was playing sessions in New
The
York.
king accordion.
So back to the beginning. You saw the Beatles, and then did you get to play with any of them?
Oh yeah,
Who did you play with?
McCartney.
Did you tour with him?
But I played with him many times, which was you know, oh my God. I mean, I still get starstruck anyway. I was in Henson, which was A&M at the time,
Right.
and you know, we were pretty popular. So I'm the guy that likes to go around the studio and go, "Who's in today?
Right.
What's happening?" You know, Don Henley's over here in B, and Sting's doing his thing over there. And then Paul's in there. I go, "Paul who?" I said, "Paul McCartney." Now, I went. I had never met a Beatle in my life, and I was just like,
How old were you?
Well, no, he was.
"Oh no, I was probably almost 40,
Well, you
late
were already
30s.
a big star. You were doing. You guys were touring and
Established,
yeah.
so to speak."
But it's not like you would walk in the room and they would know. He would know who you were.
Oh yeah, by that time, yeah.
Yeah.
By that time,
But you just walked in, or did you say, "Does he want to meet me?" Or what'd you do?
Howie Mandel here. Now, if you ever feel like breathing is a full-time job, you gotta check this out. Z Medicare is like having a coach for your lungs to give your body a fighting chance. Z Medicare uses patented technology to create singlet oxygen targeting, inflammation and enhancing tissue recovery with immune support in mind. And the best part, does it all without relying on chemicals. Because let's face it, who needs more chemicals in their life? Not this guy. For a limited time, use code Howie20 for 20% off at buyzmedicare.com.
He was in A and I was in B. And I was working on a Bon Jovi live record that I was mixing. And I was, I'm peeking out the door, waiting for Paul to walk in because his band and everybody was there.
Was this Wings?
No, this was after Wings, way after Wings.
Okay.
And I'm going, it's like 2 hours now. He's not showing up, So I walk out of one studio to go into the other overdub studio to actually do some overdubs on this live thing. I walk smack into him and he goes, "Still practicing all your mate." And he takes the guitar, and he's lefty and I'm righty. And he takes the guitar and starts to play it. And there's a couch there. And we sit down, and I'm kind of like that, obviously, and he just goes right into it, man.
Wow.
And they had to pull us apart, actually, because we just got into talking to each other so much that, it was like, okay. So then he had to go into his respective studio, and I was in my respective studio. And I look back, and Paul's got one of my guitars, and he's kind of messing around with it, right? And I go, and I'm mixing. So I said, "Well, if you're going to be in here, why don't you help me mix this?" And he did.
He really did?
He did.
What is the thing that he helped you mix? Would we
It
know
was something. Yeah, it was something off the live record. It was a record called "One Wild Night," and but we did it together. And then I got so moved that I had created this guitar with Taylor. That was a wonderful guitar. And I wrote him this big, long letter about how, the metamorphosis of that band really kind of changed my life too. And it was long. It was like, 11 pages both sides.
Wow.
That I hand wrote
Wow.
it,
How long did that take you?
It didn't take that long, believe it or not.
'Cause it's
It's
11
cursive.
It
pages.
just came
cursive.
flying out of me, man. It really did.
It's not an
You
interesting
know what?
question.
No, but
And
it's 11
And
pages.
you're holding up a story.
He's good at writing.
No,
He's
you're
good
not.
at writing.
And so I had made him a special lefty one for him because he's lefty. And well, I could show you the pictures, but since then,
We'll put the pictures up.
yeah, he's it's his favorite. This is what he writes with.
Still?
Yes.
What
So
year was this?
Early 2000s, and then I had my publisher deliver the guitar to him, and he wrote me back a beautiful letter, which I have hanging on my wall now and framed. And next thing that happened was the 9/11 thing, and then I was a big part of that telethon and everything, and we played together, and
It's
many
amazing.
other times. So then we're at the Garden, and he's like, we're in we called it Dinosaurs Row because it was Keith and Mick and Paul and
You're a rock star, buddy. If anybody asks you again if you're a rock star, you're a fucking rock
No,
star.
I think he knows. Let him tell the story
No,
about what
but-
happened
No,
with
That's
Keith.
just an amazing story.
Go ahead.
Just
thank
amazing.
you, thank
It
you,
is.
thank you. But you know what?
So go ahead. You're at the Garden with Keith and
And it's like,
Mick.
Bill Clinton and Hillary walk in, and and Keith is like smoking weed. The whole place smells like weed, and it's Billy Joel, and and Mellencamp, and it was just a great hallway, and all the young guys were, in different hallways. But Paul and I were talking, and he goes, "So you want to come up and play Let It Be with me, mate?" I go, "No, I'm watching the fucking Price is Right." Like, really? Yeah. I think I'll be there. I think I'll be up there playing with you. And we did.
when you're being asked to play Let It Be with Paul McCartney, I'm not musically inclined, but don't you have to rehearse it or know
No.
what key it's in or
I know everything.
I've always wanted to sing Let It Be.
not sing? Don't sing Let It Be.
Come on, sing it, baby.
No. What do you mean you know everything? How can you know?
You know what?
What?
Luckily, I was born with a very good ear. Usually if I hear something once or twice and I'm adept, on the mechanics of whatever instrument,
Yeah.
I could usually
But
pull that out of my butt, put it that way.
I'd be so fucking scared that, this is Paul McCartney. Am I going to hit a note or think he's going to go someplace? You can just follow. I'm not asking for a
But
lesson.
you know what? I was in cover bands, obviously, my whole life too, and being in cover bands, and I had a band called Richie Sambora and Friends.
How'd you come up with the name?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Well, I got a lot of friends,
So Richie Sambora and Friends.
Yeah, and it mattered who was in town, during that time, but it was always different guys that I was playing sessions with in New York and this, that, the other thing. And I said, well, if you want to come and play, have a good time for a little while, and you'll make like $50 in free drinks, and we'll just go.
But I just keep
The
thinking.
Beatles were a go-to thing.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
And did
Love
you,
the
did you
Stones.
play with them?
Yes, I did many times. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, can I
I
ask-
think you're wow anyway. I think that, what was it like for you to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Was that the only other time since you left Bon Jovi that you guys played together? Is that the only?
Yes and no. Yes. and
Okay,
no.
thank you for answering that.
Yes,
You've got that covered.
probably publicly, yes. Publicly.
Why do you guys still sit down and play? Well, he doesn't sing right now, right? He's.
Yeah, well, he's having a little problem, but
I
think
I heard you on another podcast saying that if his voice comes back, that you're
absolutely.
you're open to continue that.
Whatever,
Can I
you
just
know
say-
what? The fans would be just. I would have to do it. My spirit would.
Are you
feel
guys on good
very-
terms?
Yeah.
So that's great.
I saw the documentary, the Bon Jovi documentary, and I got to tell, I was so impressed with him and the whole band and the discipline you guys had, and created all this wonderful music for so many years. So kudos to you, man.
Well, thanks, man.
I would imagine that that's hard. I'm going to talk to you as a performer, as somebody who my main gig is stand-up comedy. That's what I love the most, and what I love about that.
And you're very good at it, Kat.
Thank you.
That's
what I was doing. I was fishing.
But, you know,
Fishing.
I'm not. All right, I'm not here to masturbate you or anything like that. But I must say,
Thank you. My daughter's in the room.
hi.
No, this is my daughter
I'm
right here.
Hi.
Hi.
No, but Jesus, man, I don't remember the first time, but
You're not here to
you're
masturbate.
very vulnerable, and it was like everybody goes through the stuff you talk about, and it's like I piss in the shower too.
Thank you. I'm going to tell my wife. Just not
I know
mine.
your wife.
Your own, right?
I
You're
know.
relatable.
Yeah,
You're relatable.
Just
You're
my
right.
own shower.
Right.
My own shower.
Yeah,
While I'm showering, actually.
Yeah. I also shit in the shower. I love
Do you
Who
want-
cleans that up?
What?
Howard?
Waffle stomp?
waffle stomp it down, yes.
I take a shower in the shower.
Okay. But what I was saying was, what I love best about over all the things I do is I love the autonomy and the control that I have in being alone on stage. I would imagine when you're in a group, you're just human. That's a really tough. I don't know how you. I mean, you did, and you navigated, and you guys broke up. But how that? I would not be. I don't have the personality to be part of a group.
Well, you know what? I give good band. No, I always did, and
You
I
like a
was
band.
usually the leader of the
You
band.
like
I was
being in
usually
a
the lead
band.
singer in the band, and all of that. And I was writing the material, and going out and getting the gigs, right? You know, so Richie Sambora and Friends gig, I got to go hire a truck. I got to get the guys together. I got to teach them how to play the songs.
But you're a lead. You are a lead guy. You're doing music right now. This is you got songs right now, brand new songs on Spotify. You're releasing great music and everything.
Thank you. Thank
But so when there are two leads in a band like you and Jon, that must have been.
You know what? I knew my role, and but we were partners on it. Obviously, the songwriting and end of it, and then one of the things that attracted me to Jon, not in that way, but
His hair.
he was a really good businessman.
He
and
is.
like I said, you know what? It's basic addition. Like when I book a Richie Sambora gig back then, when I was like 18.
Right.
Yeah, I got to get a truck. I got to get the driver. I got to get 5 guys to play. Book the club. You know, get in there, do the gig, lights, PA, blah, 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 blah. And then go get paid by the mob. Because that's who owned the clubs.
New
back
York
then,
and New
all the
Jersey.
time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what was left for me after taxes was, you know, so it was just basic addition. And then when you get to a place where you're playing all stadiums and you have 110 people and 28 trucks and 22 buses and 727 and pilots and stewardesses and stuff like that, it's just add a bunch of zeros. And it turns out a lot of people are afraid of zeros. Not me. I'm not afraid of zeros.
You're not afraid of nothing.
Well, I ain't afraid of zeros. I just know that for us to make our nut, you know, our tours were insanely long, by the way. I mean, the last tour I did with the band was 18 and a half months and 52 countries.
Wow.
The tour before that was 16 and a half months. And we were third on a history list of the 2 largest
In
world.
stadiums, right? Stadiums.
All stadiums, yeah.
They were all stadiums.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing. I mean, you know, it's like the first time, especially, say, back in the early 80s, where you show up to a country that basically you don't even know speaks your language, and they're singing your song to you. And you go, this is the international language. That's
Music.
what
Music, yeah.
without a doubt. You know, and I mean, I actually saw cultures turn. When I first started to go to Japan in the early 80s, geishas were still happening and all that kind of stuff. And then there was like,
What was that? Well, I don't know. I don't play
That's
charades
Tokyo.
well.
That's
I know.
The shoes.
No. Oh, is that? I don't know what you were miming. Geishas were still
no,
doing
they
what?
have wooden shoes.
Wooden shoes.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they're
Yes, they had wooden
they're
shoes,
Dutch,
and they walked
Dutch
to be,
geishas. Dutch
yeah,
geishas.
They
No.
and they walked behind the guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
As they should.
Whoa, shit. Sorry.
No, but anyway, so, and then it was like 7 years later, you know, and we're still, you know, having hits there and everything like that. And all of a sudden, bitches were wearing Chanel, and it, you know, it all changed. And I've seen a lot of different cultures change throughout the.
And you think that it was the influence of American music or that
Just
culture that things are coming?
westernization, really. Just westernization. I mean, when you see McDonald's start coming up everywhere.
And rock and roll is the epitome of Western civilization. I think it is.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that we were orders of freedom, really. And,
Blue jeans and cigarettes. Rock and roll, blue jeans and cigarettes.
No, he's
I
just
know
talking
that.
about himself today. Anyway, he's wearing blue jeans and he smokes.
Well, that.
You play every instrument though. You've played a lot of instruments. You're also a drummer and a.
I played a lot of stuff. You know what?
Horn player?
In school, I started out on sax, and they would just move me around wherever they needed me, kind of thing. It was like if they needed the trumpet, then I played French horn 1 year. Yeah, I just.
Does your family have? Are they musical? Were your parents musical?
They were dancers. They were ballroom dancers. They actually won the Harvest Moon Ball.
Is that serious?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I mean, they met President Kennedy. I remember when this whole thing was.
Your
happening.
parents?
Yeah, yeah.
But can I ask a question? Sambora is the least Polish-sounding name I've ever heard.
You know what?
Maybe it's really.
I think Lou's
Polish.
trying to say you're wrong. That's
Yeah,
not your
I'm
name.
trying-
No, you know what? It was interesting because everybody just assumes I'm Italian.
Right. Well, Jersey,
The
Sambora.
Jersey, Sambora, blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah, right? But my grandfather, his name was Alexander Chanella.
Now we're talking
Straight
Polish.
out of it was straight out. What Chanella is Polish, really?
From
No,
Gdansk?
that's
Is he
French.
From Gdansk?
Yeah, you know what? So they traced me back. You know, actually, the fans did this for me, and it turns out that in Gdansk, Poland, in the 1450s, there was the Duke of Sambor, and he had run Poland from like
Oh,
14.
wow.
Oh, you're royalty. You're
Right.
Polish royalty.
Yeah, 1452 to like early 1500s.
Your great grandfather.
Yeah, but who knows?
It doesn't
yeah, 14.
matter.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
14 something. But
amazing.
yeah, no, there's a street named Sambor Street without the A, and they chased it back to something like that.
Do you like Polish jokes? Do you
What?
get Polish jokes a lot?
I do, and hey,
Don't.
Can I just say
No,
that I have
no.
a friend? I have a friend whose mother was so Polish.
Okay.
Was
Anyway,
She
you could just-
married a Mexican.
was your
What does that
fam-
even mean?
Oh no.
Okay, go ahead.
she got a little lost.
I was
ahead.
gonna ask if your family was always supportive of you going into the music industry.
Yes, and scared.
Yeah.
You, your first, like one of your first gigs, I was a big Joe Cocker fan, and you were Joe Cocker's opening act,
That's right. And I played with Joe.
and you played in the band
Every
too.
night, yeah.
Oh, you did?
I played with him every night.
Were you at Woodstock?
No, that was too young for me. I was 10
Oh,
in Woodstock. I wish I. I
Was he drunk?
let's
Was
see.
he completely drunk when you worked with Joe Cocker? Was he completely?
No, he
wasted?
was okay.
Yeah.
He was okay.
What a talented guy that guy.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding?
I also read that
Yes.
you auditioned to take Ace Frehley's place in Kiss. Is that true?
I got a call. I did get a call and I went, at that point in time, man, I was taking every gig I could get. I was in like 3 bands at the same time. I had my session business running. I had like 3 different original bands and Richie Sambora and friends that were my cover fun. Go out and play anything you want to play,
Right.
which led me into the blues at that point also. So then I started playing in like some really like ghetto kind of joints,
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic.
Well, I'm not surprised that Bon Jovi was and is as successful as it is. Between you and Jon Bon Jovi's, your determination, the two of you together, that's powerful. That's very powerful.
yeah.
Did you like
Thank
the
you.
blues? Do you like?
Yes, because improvisation.
Yeah. I was an opening act for Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee. Do you know who they are?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their audience didn't like me, but they like me. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
English cats, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know where they originally. I didn't play England. They were here, and I was
I
their
think
opening.
they started like it was right before the Beatles, and they were doing like Skittle.
I don't know what Skittle means.
It was a forerunner to rock and roll in England, really.
Oh wow.
Believe it or not.
Wow.
I'd
That audience.
imagine comedy is hard to open for a band.
I think. Yes, I never did well.
Yeah.
Is that true? I thought you.
He
did
also
fine.
opened for Diana Ross. And
No,
they didn't like you, right?
I think when people come to see music, they come to or hear music, they come to hear music, and I think to put a comedian that is not known at all in front of that audience.
Well, that's a little chancy thing, but I mean, Carlin did a really good job when he was doing that. You know what I mean? There was, so there was a definite trend.
So I just was. You're saying I was shitty. At it?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
saying.
that is what
are.
you're saying.
Maybe you're kind of underestimating your impact. Possibly.
You.
I opened for Steppenwolf. This is true at the
did
El
too.
Macombo.
You did too.
At the El
I
Macombo.
Toronto. Stepping for about 5
I did
gigs.
it at the El Macombo in Toronto, and the best I did was total silence.
As opposed to being booed.
Total silence.
Well, that's good. Silence is golden.
It went from talking to nothing, and then back to talking.
Wow, good for you.
I played that room a bunch.
El Macombo.
Yeah, Stones actually did a live.
They did an
double
album
live
there.
album there,
Yeah.
and Stevie Ray Vaughan probably did one of the best guitar performances live at the El Macombo.
I think I
is
opened for him too.
probably.
I love Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh,
So Stevie Ray Vaughan, the night he died on a helicopter, he was with his agent and my agent were the same, and they both died. I remember that
my
night.
God. Seriously?
Yeah.
What a tragedy.
it's like I've played that gig, and it's in Wisconsin. And what happens is that you're right over the Great Lakes there.
Right.
There's the barometric system and the barometric pressure. It collides right there.
Is that what happened?
And,
I don't know what happened.
They wanted to get out of there, right? And it was obviously a great gig. It was Clapton and Beck and him, Jeff Beck and him.
Right.
Right. And he just wanted to split, but the cloud cover was very, very low. And the guy just he got vertigo and just
This is what they
turned the
left.
helicopter into the
Mountain.
They were leaving
Yes.
the gig when this happened. I thought they were going to.
Oh, they were leaving, yes.
Oh, they
leaving.
did okay. No, I
Yeah.
thought they were on their way to.
Because I was going to meet the agent the next day.
Oh my.
No, they finished the gig. The gig was a great gig. They finished the gig.
Mm-hmm.
I had a not a similar experience because I didn't die, but it was the last show of a maybe 252 show tour, and we just wanted to get home. It was these 2 thunderstorms that were converging, and we had these pilots that were like Top Gun kind of guys, crazy. And we used to do loop-de-loops and
Me
stuff
too.
like that. Right.
Me too.
Just for fun.
Upside down. I used to scare the shit out of you, right?
Oh my God.
It was fun.
It's
Yeah.
not
Right.
fun. It's
But
not.
I
these
flew
guys-
upside down over Miami.
These guys were going for these 2 storm fronts were kind of converging, and they're going for this hole, almost like if it was a donut.
Yeah.
As it was converging. So the plane got in the middle of it and then got hit by lightning and went
Whoa.
like
The tail of it went
the
down?
tail went this way.
Yeah.
And obviously the food and forks went flying into the air, and once we got out of it, whoever was sitting in the back of the plane, was like
They had forks in them.
the forks in their
Did
head,
you ever
yeah.
do like the negative G's with the plane?
I did.
Yeah, so we used to do that too. So for those that don't know, I think there's a kind of a company that's they call it the Vomit Comet. But they have I think that's where they shot the Apollo movies with Tom Hanks because you couldn't look
yeah,
weightless. They have these big 727s and they put what are they called, pads all over them. But what it is you go on a parabolic curve. But I used to do it on just the planes that we were touring in, where I used to tell it, but I would not tell you, Lou, or whatever. But we used to go up, and then he takes a dive down, and on the curve going down, on the you lose all you're like stuck against the ceiling. You know that? We would see how long. Did you do it?
Yes, of course.
We would see how long we would hold. We would hold.
The stewardess is like floating down the middle of the aisle of the plane.
You know why I stopped?
When you came out of the parabolic curve, everything went to the back of the plane.
So that's what happened to me. So the last time I did it, I asked them to do it, and I'm floating toward the plane. And as I'm floating toward the back of the plane, as we're coming out of it, I see the toilet seat goes up. The door was open to the bathroom. The toilet seat goes up. The blue water is airborne, and I'm floating. Yes, it's coming toward my face. I'm going toward it, and it's nothing. And I got totally soaked in fucked up airline toilet water. I've never done it again.
Well, they don't do that anyways anymore, right? Won't they not do it?
I don't know. I haven't asked.
This is what happens when you go on the road for 300 days a year. Just getting there and coming home is no longer a scary thing.
Lou used to fall asleep on the plane. Lou was my opening act. Lou would fall asleep on the plane, and I would go I'd say, I'll give you a signal, and you go into that dive, and you go in a dive. And I used to pour water. You'd have like a bottle of water. I used to pour water on he'd be sleeping, so I'd pour water on the front of his pants, and then we go into a dive, and everybody would scream, and he would wake up thinking we're crashing, and then we'd flatten out, and he'd look, and he'd think he pissed himself.
And you had some nutty pilots too.
Yeah, they got bored.
But they could, you know what? They know how to do that stuff. They really do.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not the guy with the helicopter guy from Wisconsin.
No. And you know what?
Terrible.
Anytime it's like when the cloud cover is that low, you
shouldn't have
just
flown
don't
out,
get in
right?
it. You just don't get in it.
They should not have left, right? They should have waited till the weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Howie Mandel here. I've got something hotter than a summer barbecue and cooler than your uncle's dance moves at a wedding. Picture this. You're in the kitchen trying to make your famous flaming nachos, and suddenly the flames are out of control. What are you going to do? Stop the fire in its tracks with the Cobra Blanket. With both CE and SGS certification, the Cobra Blanket has been through rigorous international fire safety tests. When you order a Cobra Blanket, make sure to use Howie's Gift to get a free Cobra Fireproof Bag at CobraBlanket.com.
So being a rock star with a grown daughter, last time I talked to you, I think, didn't your daughter get engaged?
She is engaged. We had the engagement party at my house about 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Do you like them?
I do. They've been together for 5. They're already married already. It's like, my speech was, they're really in love. I love the kid. I mean, I've taken him on vacation. I like to put him right in the limelight, so I get to know him. I get to see him. We get to talk. And
is he a rock star?
No, he's actually, they met in college in LMU.
Well,
and
I would revisit.
I mean, he's just a gentleman, and they just really love the hell out of each other. They've been together for 5 years.
You want a rock star for your daughter?
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. He knows what.
Coming from a rock star.
I'm telling you, he knows what he did. He doesn't want that for his daughter. But was it when she was dating, and they would come to the door and meet you or have to deal with you? I would imagine that's a...
You know what? It would be really funny because everybody seems to be somehow intimidated, right? And I'd be going, don't worry about me. Worry about her. I said,
your daughter.
I taught her how to be, just very discretionary and also, respect herself.
You're not married now, right?
No. I haven't.
You've had a lot of great exes.
Beautiful.
You got really good taste.
Actually, I didn't have to do much.
Very modest.
Girls like musicians.
Who doesn't love a Polish accordion player?
Yeah, exactly. But I had to quit playing accordion. I didn't quit playing accordion, but I started to teach myself how to play guitar when I was about 13 and a half.
But all your exes are like spectacular,
beautiful,
wonderful people. Yeah,
and beautiful.
Yeah, and wonderful and talented. You've gone out and you've had. I wonder in those relationships if there was competition with like Lita Ford and.
No.
Well, they're great guitar players, and what's her name? From Michael Jackson's.
Oriente.
Yeah.
Great, but everybody is themselves and who they are, and with me, I never felt like I was in competition with anyone.
It's just that I can't imagine, and I know I have friends that do, but I couldn't imagine like dating or being married or going out with a comedian. Even though I respect.
It would have been it could be a lot of fun.
I don't know. I don't think so. I love
a sarcasm fest.
Yeah, which could end. But
it could be kind of fun too.
No.
But you would like two of your wife. Didn't you tour with Oriente?
Oh,
how do you
yeah,
say your name?
We were together for 5 years, and we made 2 albums together, and we toured extensively all over. You know, I thought it was a great idea because she's an amazing guitar player.
What's her name?
Oriente.
Do you know she was in Michael Jackson, that when he was getting ready for the last tour, she was in that movie. But you know her from so many other things. But that's I think
yeah,
you don't
and you know what? She happens to be a very gifted. She was like when she was
a prodigy,
kid,
right?
She was a prodigy, you know.
Yeah.
And
Lita Ford, another.
I heard that name.
Great. She was my.
So many. I mean,
she was my band leader when I had a show on CBS. It was her and the big man from the E Street Band.
Tall guy.
It's good.
no. Jesus. Clarence.
What?
Clarence. Clarence and Lita Ford were my band on a CBS show.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good.
You know, I mean,
talk
obviously
show?
Clarence is Clarence, and Lita is. She was like, you know, not to be gender orientated, but she held her own as a girl in rock and roll, and was able to. She had the grit, you know.
I think you have to be
She had
in
the
that
grit
business
to do it, you know.
Yeah. And you are now writing and performing and releasing music. Do you what is the process? Do you like what do you like, or maybe there isn't one you like better? Do you like performing as much as you like creating, writing, producing?
Yes, absolutely.
I
mean, you know
yes
what? The writing thing for me is that's the most fun, I think, because you're kind of making stuff up out of thin air, and it materializes into a sonic painting.
How does that come to you? Does the melody come to you, or does a lyric come to you?
It happens always, but usually it starts with a title. I need a story.
A title?
Yeah, I have
First?
to have usually.
Wow.
Yeah, usually.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, because you know, the story is going to give you a fabric, and then the lyric, you're going to color it almost like it's a movie soundtrack. Because there's a sound for hope, and there's a sound for you got to go dig around and find them, but that's half the fun. But
So you never sit around just noodling on the guitar or a piano or whatever?
Of course I do.
And a rhythm may come to, a melody may come to you, but there's no words, there's no story. It's just a great sound.
You know what? I'm lucky enough to have, you know, a lot of great guitars and great amplifiers and great instruments and great pianos, and I have a studio in my house, and you should come and hang.
I would like to.
No, seriously.
Okay.
You know
Not
what?
right now. I'm going to finish this podcast, but after.
Yeah, no, because
Can I
we're
ask-
very close to each other.
Why is the name written the way it is today? How is that relevant to? Mr.
You know, you
Sambora?
should Google maybe before you show up, and
Yeah.
you know who the guest is going to
I
be.
know who the guest is.
Well, that's his
From
latest
Jon-
cover for his tunes.
Yeah, it was a night chart.
Oh.
You know
No.
why?
Asking
Because
why
I had
it says Howie Mandel Does Stuff.
had-
He's
and-
asking why it
you
says
know what?
Howie Mandel Does
And
Stuff.
guess what? It looks great like that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It really does.
We
That's
changed
our
it.
podcast name, Lou.
That's the name of this podcast.
I know.
Oh.
No, I'm telling Lou. Lou doesn't.
Lou doesn't know. Lou doesn't know where he is.
Howie Mandel Do. What's the name of your album?
I haven't named it yet.
Oh,
It was an interesting way to do things. This is the first time I've ever done it this way.
No, this was beautiful what you said. What this said.
I love it. I had cataract surgery, so
No, but that's not what that's not the title when he asked the question. You
Oh.
said it's the my life wrote the songs. Is that what you're?
I basically yes, but I also think, and I think that that's really true. People don't have the time for the album experience anymore. You know what I mean?
I think that's
Sad.
coming back.
it's sad that they don't, isn't
It's
it?
sad that they don't.
To not actually hold the album.
So I just started going like this. I went, okay, I'm just going to release one song at a clip and see how it's going. And so there was, I think in the month of July, I released 4 songs. And then about 3 weeks ago, I just released a song called We'll Get By, which I think is very, very timely for what's going on now. And I'm lucky because I got like 2 albums on ice kind of thing sitting in the can.
You've got that much material unreleased.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that hard to like record something, create something, and then just hang on to it? You know, I like if I think of a...
Yes, it is.
Yeah, everything. If I think something's funny, I want to run to the club and do it in front of an audience, or I want to put it on TikTok, or
annoy strangers, or that's me.
I don't get it.
What are we doing? We're going to annoy some strangers tonight. But hey, look, at least if you're going to get a reaction, why not?
But you've got 2 albums worth of songs that nobody has heard. I mean, you've heard
way more than that, actually.
So why? How does, as an artist, how do you not? Well, maybe that's because it's just for the art rather than for the adulation, acceptance.
You're an artist.
You know what? A good song is a good song, and the way people relate to it. Once you actually get through, like when you have a #1 song, like say "Living on a Prayer" or something like that, and it's #1 in 40 countries. Wow. Okay. And it was the first time that we used characters in a lyric. Tommy used to work on a dock.
Right.
Union's been on strike. Down on its luck. It's tough. Right.
Who is
Gina
Tommy?
worked a diner all day. Tommy was actually my Uncle Sal, who got laid off and worked on the docks. And my dad was laid off at the same time in New Jersey. So it kind of was morphed into a story about the economic times and what most folks, middle class, and we were lower middle class folks, that we were going through.
So that's your story.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of people's story. I think that everybody.
So John, what did John add to that?
Yeah, well, we did it together, but
I love that. What do you call it? What do you call the thing where you play it with your mouth?
Oh, the talk box.
Yeah, that was kind of. I would imagine maybe somebody used it before, but that's the first time I ever.
You know
heard
what? It could be really goofy, man. It could be a really goofy thing, but Joe Walsh, I think probably with Rocky Mountain Way, when I heard that, he was using it, and also Peter Frampton.
Oh, right.
Who just got inducted into the Rock Hall, and I was a part of it.
That's the first time I heard it with Peter Frampton.
Yeah, I was one of the only guys that learned how to do it somehow. You know what I mean? I started it when I was about 15. So I remember when I brought it up in the studio that day that I think we should try this. They were all laughing at me because it could sound like a duck. If you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
That's a great song, though, Living on a Prayer.
Well, thank you, sir.
It's an anthem.
But if you put it through some amplification, and basically, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what the talk box does. You hit a button, it shuts the sound off from going from the amplifier head to the speaker cabinet and sends it up to this tube into your mouth. So then you have like 125 watts of sound in your mouth. My teeth were rattling.
You feel it?
All the time, yeah. Especially if you hit it hard.
Wow.
And if you hit it hard, that's when it's going to sound the best.
Wow. Now that you've explained it, I would imagine a lot of women are going to buy one and not use it in their mouth. They're going to go, what are you doing? I'm singing.
I'm sitting on it. I'm sitting on it, man.
I'm sitting on that.
But you know, and it was one of those strange things that happened to work out really, really great.
Yeah, and now it's and how does it make you feel that because that's a really, really good song, well done, but it's become like a karaoke anthem.
It's everybody's song.
It's everybody. I have never been.
Everybody has been in that position where you're at the kind of like at a crossroads of a place where an amalgamation of life's little tragedies might happen at the same time. I get laid off. This is not going well. You know, too many things are not going well, and you got each other and your partner.
And you're living on a prayer.
That's what
Literally
you
living on a
got, man. You know, I mean, you're living on. It hasn't materialized yet. There's this, intention, basically.
Howie Mandel here. Between hosting podcasts and trying to remember where I put my keys, I need my brain firing on all cylinders. Roots Focus offers a clean energy boost without turning you into a caffeine-fueled hummingbird. They're packed with a powerful blend of synergistic mushrooms working together to enhance your cognitive function and support overall brain health. Fuel your focus naturally with code Howie15 for 15% off at silverstarnutrition.com. How sharp am I? How sharp am I? How focused am I? I'm focused.
Are you an animal activist?
I am.
I love that.
You know, you got to give back in what comes to you in an opportunity. You know, I've been working with the Midnight Mission for many, many, many years, and they're a great organization that is really.
You did all that hurricane relief, I remember, years ago.
Yeah, I mean, anything. I've worked with the Red Cross so many times.
What's the Midnight Mission? The
Midnight Mission is a place here in Los Angeles where
Homeless.
they take homeless people up.
Oh, we don't say homeless anymore. We say.
We don't?
I say. What do I say? Nonprofits.
Displaced?
No, not nonprofits.
Oh, a la cartes.
A la carte. But they all have. What's interesting to me is
I don't know.
all the young homeless folks have great hair.
Why do you think that
Hey.
is? Well, look at me. I'm doing well.
You know, that was something that went over my
I
head.
like giving too. You know what I was going to give you? I was going to give you a pair of underpants.
Oh, these underwear. I got
Man-made underpants.
I got a pair 4 months ago.
I know.
And I'm still wearing them.
Okay. So anyway, man-made underpants. These 4 guys from Canada. They make these underpants, and they're just the best.
What
Great.
size are you?
Oh, bring them in. What size? Medium?
Yeah.
Medium. Go get them a medium. You got to feel these.
Fantastic.
Well, I'll give you a small to feel, but I'll give you a medium to wear. You feel those?
Good
They're just
catch.
the best underpants, and they're they don't ride up.
You know what?
And they got a great.
We all need great underpants.
There's a
Isn't
medium.
there's a saying? There you go. There's for you. You can take home.
Grazie,
Underpants.
grazie very much. You know what?
Aren't they soft?
I love them.
Yeah, feel them.
I
aren't
love
they?
them, man.
They are. They're great. I get you a couple pair. And
Thank
if you ever
you,
want
brother.
underpants, Howie's your man. Man.
When you think about Howie, think underpants.
Yeah.
No.
You are truly amazing. The other day, and if you want to again, you jammed with our band, and you just came in, nothing planned.
Of course not.
With Sonny and the Black Pat, nothing planned, and they just hit.
Can
It
we
was
see
like
it?
improv.
Did you tape it?
No, but if he wants to walk out there, we can do it again. They actually tuned the guitar this time. Yeah?
Sure.
So before you do that, I just want to say that I want people to subscribe and like. And we have a subscription button on. We're on YouTube, and if you press the subscribe button, it's scratch and sniff, so your finger smells for like a week.
What's this week's smell?
The guest always gets to choose.
They get to choose. Richie,
okay.
what do you want our listeners' fingers and watchers to smell like? This
What are
week?
my choices?
No, it's
You just
totally
say
up
it.
to
We'll
you.
make it happen.
Unlimited.
Yeah.
There's unlimited choices. of what
But
it should
not
smell.
cinnamon. Not
What's your
cinnamon.
favorite smell? We learned what your favorite animal was. What's your favorite smell?
Really? That's the one
smell.
question you come up for the whole episode?
It applies. You guys were talking a lot. I didn't get anything.
Well, that happens on a podcast. People talk a lot.
didn't wanna interrupt.
It depends upon the situation, I think.
Depends. It'll smell like depends.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
If you're in Italy, it would be the food. If
we
you're in
jumped
bed,
on
it would be sex.
Sex.
Right? Well, you know.
So it'll smell
It'll
like
smell like sex.
sweaty sex. This
Why
week,
sweaty?
if you what?
Why sweaty?
Well, if you're not sweaty, it's just
Well, yeah,
that's just.
you're not trying.
Okay.
Or it's not hot enough in the room.
Thank you for explaining to my daughter the story of sex. So we're gonna
The birds and the bees. We're explaining the birds and the bees.
We're gonna jam with the band a little bit, and you are such a joy and such a great human being and such a great artist, and I wish you nothing but success and a great family, man. I know that you and your daughter have an amazing relationship.
Thank
And,
God. No, it's such a blessing.
What is that like?
I just.
Oh yes, I know. You guys look so not in tune. You know, really.
She hated me for
sarcasm.
years. She hated me for years.
Yeah.
She did, from about 16 or 15 to 21.
What
Now
were
she's
you, what
old.
were you doing?
Being a parent.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He was really hard to get along with.
No, it was you weren't.
I was fine. I was a normal teenager.
No, she wasn't. They wrote songs and movies about her group of people that she was hanging with. It wasn't anything. It wasn't good.
Wasn't anything.
Do you want to see a prolapse?
No, say no, please. Say
No, you can do it.
no.
Do you want to see a prolapse video?
Sure.
Do you know what prolapse is?
You
No.
don't want to see this.
Oh, it's when your anus
don't.
could come right out of your. It's when you're.
Well, I don't need that though.
Okay.
See?
Just ask. I always ask.
And I always say no.
It's
No,
good
we
you
have
got
a-
consent
Is it
this time.
attractive?
What?
No.
You know, you got to be the judge.
Yeah, I guess it's a perception thing.
Do you want to
No.
see?
Sure.
Okay,
Oh
look at
my
the video right there. Here we go.
Oh, my Lord.
Before we
Look,
jam.
Rich is turning around. Rich is
No, he's telling the lady that you're with shouldn't look at the monitor. We don't want people to look at the
Yeah,
monitor.
don't
Okay.
look at the monitor.
And you tell me what you think. Is there a song in this?
No.
No song?
Possibly.
Do you,
You
want
don't get
your
any
button
lyric?
to smell like this?
You said there's a tie.
No.
You said that.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay. I mean, it's just fair. Could
But-
you write something to this?
It would take me a sec to think about how I would do it correctly.
Okay.
I mean, you can't take
Living
his eyes
on a
off of
prayer.
it.
All right, we've seen enough of this.
All right.
Okay, you
All
can,
right.
you can lose that now.
All right, you're amazing, Richie. You really are. Let's go play some music. Sonny, you got something?
Yeah, we're setting up for you guys. So
Okay.
You can come on out.
Sure.
Take a
Bye.
second to get them in.
Such a pleasure, man.